Still complaining. Okay, let's look at this flowchart. So this to me are the fundamentals of Melee. You can break it down into 3 main sections, and that's neutral, punish, game, and mindset. Mindset's more of a nebulous topic that's like really personal, but clearly still part of the game. It's really a neutral and punish game. So within these greater concepts, you have these sub-concepts, and then like even after that is a deeper breakdown of what consists of those concepts, right? Like people say neutral a lot. What is neutral? What does neutral really mean? Neutral encompasses all of these things and what like they're made up of. And then people talk about punish game. What is punish game? Punish game is all of these things. You want to be tight on all these things. You want to be knowledgeable. These are all things that are important to know. So really, this is a lot to take in, but if you've seen Melee, if you've been in Melee, these are all terms that you've heard of. So what I went ahead and did is broke it down to like what's related to what, and how can we think about this concept? How can we define this concept? And I think once you're able to define all these things, you're able to see them when you start analyzing games for yourself, and you're able to like kind of know and find the answers yourself. Like what worked, what doesn't, why didn't it work, etc. And then through that process of watching footage, using the knowledge given in these fundamentals guide, I think you can really like understand everything there is to Melee and improve, at least from like a knowledge point of perspective. Okay, so here's the guide. Basically how it works is the groupings, and then for each concept I define it. I give it like a catchphrase, which is just kind of like how you can think about this in a quick little phrase, and a bullet list of like what is included in that concept. So you can either skip to things that you aren't really familiar with. Like I think a lot of people don't really understand momentum or rhythm. Like people hear momentum all the time, but what is momentum, right? And then rhythm, people don't really talk about this much. Ginger kind of talks about it, but he calls it tempo. And that's like a really important part of the game that just a lot of people aren't even playing, So, okay, here is the list. I'm going to go through each one of these briefly. I don't know how much of this I'm not just going to read this whole guide to you guys. Probably find a better use of our time. Okay, but basically there's neutral, and neutrals consisted of movement, zoning, baits, crouch cancel, momentum, and rhythm. And momentum is made up of tech skill, spacing. Zoning is made up of state control and approaching. Baits are their own thing. Crouch cancel is its own thing. Momentum and rhythm, right? You guys get the point. For punish game, it's like, what do you do to combo? What do you do while getting combo? There's that duality aspect of a punish, but it's no longer neutral, right? Edge guarding, same thing. Mix-ups. I put mix-ups in punish, but as like an example of like mixing up someone's DI, but mix-ups are like ever present in Melee, and they're really found in the approach and zoning sections of neutral and the baits. But anyways, shield pressure is actually like super like unique in Melee. It's a really important part that's really early in the game that is that people like aren't familiar with, right? Like it's like so important from day one, because if you're not doing shield pressure correctly, you're gonna get shield grabbed every time and you're just gonna die every time. So like hitting shield properly, and then like doing things out of shield are going to be really important to your game as you develop. Mentality wise, there's mental warfare, there's your own habits, like how you mood, which is how you feel through a game. Working, just putting in the hours, knowing what to work, deliberate practice, and then like taking care of your body. Pretty straightforward.